The Hanging Gardens of Babylon were one of the seven wonders of the ancient world listed by the Hellenistic culture. They were described as a remarkable feat of engineering, with an ascending series of tiered gardens containing a wide variety of trees, shrubs, and vines, resembling a large, green mountain built of mud bricks. They were said to have been built in the ancient city of Babylon, near present-day Hilla, Babel province, Iraq. The name Hanging Gardens is derived from the Greek word kapro epsilon mu alpha sigma tau, chromastos, lit. Suspended, which has a broader meaning than the word hung, and refers to the planting of trees on an elevated structure, such as a terrace. According to legend, the Hanging Gardens were built alongside a grand palace known as the Wonder of Mankind by the Neo-Babylonian king Nebuchadnezzar II for his Median wife, Queen Amytis, because she missed the green hills and valleys of her homeland. This was attested to by the Babylonian priest Berossus, writing in about 290 BC, a description which was later quoted by Josephus. The construction of the Hanging Gardens has also been attributed to the legendary Queen Semiramis, and they have been called the Hanging Gardens of Semiramis as an alternative name. The Hanging Gardens are the only one of the seven wonders whose location has not been definitively established. No extant Babylonian text mentions the gardens, and no definitive archaeological evidence has been found in Babylon. Three theories have been suggested to explain this. First, that the gardens were purely mythical, and that the descriptions found in ancient Greek and Roman writings represented a romantic ideal of an Eastern garden. Second, that they existed in Babylon but were destroyed at some point. And around the 1st century AD, the well-documented garden that the Assyrian king Sennacherib built in his capital city of Nineveh on the Tigris River near the modern city of Mosul. There are 5 main writers whose descriptions of Babylon survive in some form today. These writers are concerned with the size of the Hanging Gardens, their general design and means of irrigation, and the reason for their construction. Josephus cites a description of the gardens by Berossus, a Babylonian priest of Marduk, whose writing c. 290 BC is the earliest known mention of the gardens. Berossus described the reign of Nebuchadnezzar II, and is the only source to attribute the construction of the Hanging Gardens to the king. In this palace, he erected very high walls, supported by stone pillars, planted what was called a hanging paradise, and filled it with all kind of trees. He made the outlook an exact likeness of a mountainous country. He did this to please his queen, because she had been raised in Media and liked a mountainous view. Diodorus Siculus seems to have consulted texts from the 4th century BC. Both Clitarchus and Ctesias of Cnidus. Diodorus attributes the construction to a Syrian king. He states that the garden was square in shape, with each side about 4 pleads long. The garden was tiered, with the topmost gallery being 50 cubits high. The walls, 22 feet thick, were made of brick. The bases of the tiered sections were deep enough to accommodate the roots of the largest trees, and the gardens were irrigated from the nearby Euphrates. Quintus Curtius Rufus probably drew on the same sources as Diodorus. He states that the gardens were located on top of a citadel, which had a circumference of 20 stadia. He attributes the construction of the gardens to a Syrian king, again on the grounds that his queen was homesick for her homeland. Strabo's account probably based his description on the lost account of Silangelsecrets from the 4th century BC. He states that the gardens were watered by means of an Archimedean screw that brought water to the gardens from the Euphrates River. The last of the classical sources considered to be independent of the others is a handbook to the 7 wonders of the world by the paradoxographer Philo of Byzantium, written in the 4th to 5th centuries AD. The method of raising the water by screw fits that described by Strabo. Philo praises the engineering and ingenuity of constructing vast expanses of earth, which had a huge mass, so far above the natural elevation of the surrounding land, as well as the irrigation techniques.